Hello there. Good evening. Tonight, I would like to talk about this mandate for wearing masks and how it's being dismantled here in British Columbia. Many states in the United States have already gone through this process, um, and there's some things I want to talk about. Um, why we were wearing masks in the first place? Well, there were two reasons. One, people do speak moistly, whether you want to believe that or not. I don't care how um, linguistically perfect you are. You speak moistly when you talk. You can't help it. Nobody can. That was one of the reasons. And the other one was obedience to the government. And a lot of people don't know it, but based on your approach to COVID 19, you were being judged. And people go, well, they don't know anything about me. Who am I? I just work at I don't know, anywhere. And I don't have social media. I don't go out to parties or anything like that. I don't have fun. I'm just a plain old boring person. Why would they be interested in me? Because they want to know about everybody. They know where you live. They know what high school picture you have. They know where you've worked. They know what banks you use. They know where you spend your money. Unless you use cash money or a trade system, like bartering. A lot of people who are into antiquing do those sort of things. And the government wants to know all of that because the government is a paranoid organization. And one of the things that people don't understand is that policies from the East are making their way to the West. The West is starting to bend to the will of the Chinese Communist Party, which was this grading system on their own citizens. They have the cameras to do that, and a lot of people are easily fooled. Um, and that being said, a lot of people are going to break the rule of the 14 days after their second dosage of the vaccine that they were taking. I'm not going to do that, but a lot of people are going to do that. I know that. Technically, you have to have had your second dosage of vaccination, and it has to have been 2 weeks since you did that. And you may go, well, they're not gonna, you don't even have to prove it. They're not gonna punish you. They're gonna know. It's gonna go on your permanent record. It could be 20 years, 30, 40 years down the road, and they'll pull that out of the woodwork and use it against you and not even tell you they're using it against you. That you disobeyed what they had to say. And people go, well, why don't they give me a ticket right now then if that's what they're going to do? Because then they lose the element of surprise. You've forgotten that they were annoyed with you, and now they have the pretext to build something against you should they decide to. And a lot of people go, well, I'm a boring person. I don't do anything. I don't go anywhere. Wrong, dumbass. Wrong. It doesn't matter. You're an individual whom they want to know all about. Every single person who lives in Canada and in the Western world, the powers that be want to know about everybody because it is a massively paranoid organization, the world governments. They are paranoid about everything. And any small variant or deviation from their general consensus, unbeknownst to them, is highly offensive. They do not want their regimes to be undermined. And this is the building blocks to them being able to do that. Eventually, it'll get to the point where they know exactly the type of lies that will create zero resistance and, change arguments to make them sound stupid. Like, I was never on the anti-masker side. And the reason why is because they're a bunch of idiots. They're all a bunch of idiots. If you have some sort of, like, say, for example, if you had emphysema or something like that, you have to wear an oxygen tank. All right, that's a reason. Little children, you can expect them not to wear masks because they don't understand. That's understandable. But there are a lot of people out there who made up medical conditions, and they just knew that they could say that they had a medical condition, and then, no consequences. Well, they were wrong because they're stupid. And a lot of people's argument for wearing masks is, oh, it's an infringement against my freedom. And, it's uncomfortable. I don't want to wear it. Okay, that shows how tough you are, because you sound like a crybaby. I mean, I didn't enjoy wearing a mask, but I knew that there was a reason we were wearing them. And part of it was the COVID-19 virus, and part of it was the COVID-19 fear of the powers that be and how we're not supposed to understand them. Just do what you're told. And you can run along the day it says that you don't have to wear a mask and go, yay, I'm free again. Now, time to go back to my slave job and be a slave over there at minimum wage. Yeah, your freedom got you real far, didn't you? Well, I don't have to wear a mask anymore. Loser. I'm going to continue wearing my mask until the 14 days are up after my second vaccination. I haven't quite got my second vaccination. I'm booked for an appointment. I'm going to go. I didn't go to my first appointment and, run away the second I saw. I didn't actually see the person inoculating me. They went, you're getting this, and then bam, it was in my arm. And, not especially afraid of things like that, although there are plenty of reasons why you could be, but, whatever. If they want to get you, they're going to get you. You're not going to get away with it. So, like, yeah, I mean, this actually was a punishment against the Western empires. I mean, it wasn't that many years ago when any sort of bad fate for the Western empires was God's punishment. Therefore, China's Communist Party punishing the Western powers, in particular places like Italy, Britain, United States, most of Europe, Canada, basically Christian countries, the Lord and Master, the God to some people, was the Chinese Communist Party for punishing the West. And that made them look good to those people who wanted to believe that narrative. And perhaps those are countries where they're in need of some infrastructure, and the Chinese know how to build paper mache. Looks nice, but it's a piece of, biodegradable garbage of a city. They know how to do that, and they go there for their real reasons, because these are usually little pygmy villages with, leadership that just doesn't understand world politics. Like, there's some little, I forget the name of the country, but it's like a tiny little thing just 700 kilometers from Australia. And the Australians had been pillaging the oil and gas resources from the water northern of Australia for quite some time. And this little country stood absolutely no chance in the legal system of winning that argument in a Western world, until China has come along and tried to make, the balancing act, I won't say fair, but, it gives the Australian government serious competition in the region. Because, like I said, they know how to build bogus infrastructure that'll impress, natives when really they're just trying to spin words into getting their hands on those oil and gas reserves themselves. And the Western powers are divided on how to approach this. Most of them are fairly firm about not handing over those resources to the Chinese Communist Party. However, there are cowards. There are cowards in power. And Justin Trudeau is a prime example. And the celebrities in the United States are deplorable. Most of them are absolutely deplorable. They're all so scared of voicing opinion that doesn't go along with the current because they're afraid of the consequences, which, would mean that elements of their cult of personality would probably turn on them and they might end up with COVID-19. And they were all brainwashed by seeing video of people with the most severe form of COVID-19. And basically, they go, well, you're just one person. If you don't agree with us, you're getting COVID-19 and yada, yada, yada. And that's why, you'll see a lot of white celebrities this day and age. To get popular, they have to adopt new wave cultural identity. And I really do not condone anyone do that. It really makes the Western powers, in particular the United States, look stupid. And people want to believe they're stupid. Even people living in the country want to believe they're stupid. And, there's something about that that's completely ass backwards, why don't you de-embarrass yourselves and, work on the elements you don't like a little later. And what I mean by that is when you get Elliot Page, boasting about how she became a man and she has this giant six-pack now, which I think is photoshopped. That is repugnant. And how is that a story? Somehow it is. And you know why it is? It's to embarrass the West. Make us look like a bunch of freaks. And, why don't we get away from that topic? Because, again, that makes us look bad to the rest of the world. Some people go, no, it makes us look good. It makes us look progressive. Blah, blah, blah. No, it doesn't. There are people out there who are laughing at us because of that stuff like that. And that's not even the worst of it. And, why people like that do that. So they can get away. I already said that in another video. Ellen Page just wanted to get away, so she made up a stupid story because there's probably a million guys that want to have sex with her. Or did, anyway. I don't know about it. Well, probably still now as well, actually. And it is rather... Well, the picture was grotesque, but I actually don't think that Ellen Page looks like that right now. I could be proven wrong, but I don't believe that she looks like that. Or that she believes in that religion. She went along with the wave because it was the path of least resistance. And she's probably afraid of getting this extreme form of COVID-19, so she wouldn't dare stand out and say something different. I'm using her as an example. There were plenty of other celebrities that also took the coward's way out. And their own elements of their cult of personality would be the people that would do them in. And, believe it or not, if you have a shadow somewhere out there and, it's not that inconceivable, anyone with any kind of opinion could develop a shadow. Government agent. It's not hard to follow someone. It's not hard to figure out where they've been. It's not hard to figure out what they do. It's actually extremely easy for them because of the advancement of technology. They don't even have to have a physical body following you. Although, if they really like you, maybe they do. Because as with everything, having a good offense sometimes is better than having a good defense. It's certainly more entertaining, anyway, at very least. And the government, as well as military forces and all that sort of stuff, has never been that great on defense. It's all about offense, and their ability to do things is better than you shining the light on them and showing the world exactly who these creeps are. Because I got a small flavor of what they are based on what I saw on the internet. Because anyone I talk to on the internet is actually a troll working for the government. I know that for a fact. They keep trying to goad me into believing certain things, and it's like, you're wasting your time. You're not going to convince me of anything. And this is all important because, there's things going on here, man. And, sure, you could go, I'm not important. I don't do anything. Blah 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 blah. And you keep your head down. You work hard and all that sort of stuff. Well, you're never gonna get anywhere. Nobody ever got anywhere in this world by being normal. And I don't mean being a freak. I mean being normal, and being extraordinary are two different things. And being a freak or being extraordinary are two different things. Some people think that, no, you have to be a freak in today's society to actually get somewhere. And it's people like myself who disagree with that. I don't think you have to be a freak to get somewhere. It takes a little bit of cunning and wit. But yeah. There are many people who would like me to shut my mouth and, sort of fade away into the dustbin of the internet. And you haven't shaken my confidence at all. As I'm sure I haven't shaken your confidence yet. I mean, it's such... This is a great tree, and there are areas of this tree that people don't like. It has many roots and many branches that go off into all sorts of different directions, and it's hard to pick a specific subject of it and focus on that and explain the whole thing in a reasonable manner that doesn't take thousands of hours. I mean, society is complicated but stupid at the same time. And so I'm gonna recap this. Big thing. China got to punish the West, and for the most part, the Western powers are, looking the other way at very least, even apologizing to them, and it's making the Chinese Communist Party look good to the countries that do not like us and have a few brain cells of their own. It's the punishment of God. And the punishment of God happened to be the Chinese Communist Party, in their opinion. So that's fairly big. This no mask thing. I would encourage people to have their second dosage or their final dosage of the vaccine and continue to wear their mask until 2 weeks afterwards. I would promote that because that's how it should be. If you don't want to wear a mask, the law says you don't have to, and you don't have to prove it. But technically, that is the stipulation. And, a lot of people are going to break that rule, and I'm not one of them. So that's kind of important because I have made videos where I said British Columbia, the reason it's outstanding so far as being in Canada, being one of the number one provinces that got it lightly as far as COVID-19, but seems to be the most progressive towards transition back to what people consider normal, going back to their slave lives. And I already expressed in a different video about COVID-19 the reason why I think that is, and that's because the British Columbia government, along with Justin Trudeau, wants to open the doors of the British Columbian Empire to Asia because you look at it at a map and it's like a one-stop shop, and they don't have the same sort of bad energy against them like the Australians do. The South Africans were a fairly prejudiced bunch of people as well. And British Columbia's were, yeah. And other than having a lot of seafood, which the Chinese Communist Party would love to get their hands on around here, like our salmon, for example, and basically anything that is in the ocean, everything, who knows where this new direction is going. Because they want to normalize things. And to normalize things, that means you got to get rid of the mass. In the eyes of the public, anyway. In the eyes of the world. And to do that, get rid of mass. And say, look, we have Asian persons everywhere here, and there's no virus. We're complimenting the Chinese Communist Party and their iron determined will to eradicate this virus. And this is the story that we're going to pitch to the world, and it just isn't true. They're the ones that came up with the virus, and they'll do it again the first time somebody tries to contradict them. Like Donald Trump. Oh, but Donald Trump, bad man. Orange man, bad. Yeah, you said that. I haven't seen anything that would suggest that Joe Biden not also bad. I've seen plenty of things that say he is bad, and the excuse, well, Donald Trump just had to go. Okay, here's your lollipop, you fucking idiot. You're obviously not capable of critical thinking. I mean, you didn't have to like everything about Donald Trump. In fact, there was a lot of things not to like about him, but he stood up to China. So, in my book, some of the disgusting things, and I don't mean what he's done, but what he allowed to be. We're not going to get into that subject, okay? That was one thing as well. That the British Columbian government has decided, let's open the doors and normalize things in the eyes of the world. One-stop trip to Asia from here. And that will be the message, I think, going forward. And people will accept it. They'll be born into it, and they'll know nothing else of it. So that was a point I wanted to make. This whole government spying on people routine, that's also a thing, a video in itself. Why Eastern policies are making their way into the West. People's privacy is being taken away. And the government is judging you, is grading you. And when you think about it, you take religion, for example, where, God's always watching, God knows everything and all that sort of stuff. Isn't it what the West always wanted? Some elements of it always wanted. It's okay to believe in this sort of stuff because, it's true. But I don't actually want to be watched, if you don't mind, entirely. Like, I'll say hey in front of the camera every now and then. And it's ironic because I'm making YouTube videos. That's my contribution. But do I want a shadow who's going to see me every time I make a flippin' mistake? Oh no, he didn't look both ways when he crossed the road. What a moron. And all I got to do is put that up on a forum or something like that. And then you'll get a bunch of trolls going, what an idiot, what an idiot. And, flash the light on them because they're hiding in the dark because they're cowards. And you'll see them in all their glory. And it's really what the government deserves. So many times where they've been bullies. And you think that, when I'm a grown-up, people won't be bullies anymore. You'd think that. And they won't tease, laugh, call names, physical aggression, all this sort of stuff. Oh, yeah, the government's all about that stuff. They still do it. They still act like punks. That's all they are, punks. I don't have a problem bullying people. I don't have a problem calling people names. I don't have a problem doing a lot of things. And it's like, okay, you never progress the intellectual ability of a high school punk. You took these into adulthood and continued to be the punk you always were. You just didn't want to get in trouble for it, so you joined the government. Where they bully themselves anyway, and somehow it's like a merry-go-round of, well, bullshit. So these are definitely things I think people should consider when they think about not wearing a mask. I know I've kind of gone into a few different directions here, but it's all part of the greater scheme. Anyway, I think I'll leave this video at that, because most people don't have an attention span that lasts over 25 minutes. So, play by ear, and I'm going to do those rules because the Chinese Communist Party does not dictate what I believe. And, just don't be stupid about COVID-19, okay?